Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you what I do when I apply my foundation. I hope you find it helpful and useful, and again, I can't stress enough to pay attention to your skin, take care of it. It's one thing that you have. It's the biggest organ on your body, and it's vital and important. But I do think that if you find what works for you, you can really make your foundation routine something fun. You could even cut it down for a daily look. I do that. I'll do a video. I will do a video on my shortened down look, but this is my typical go-to. Even days I'm going to work, I will put this effort into it because I think it makes my skin look flawless. And who doesn't want to look flawless? I don't want to look like Barbie, but I do want to look like I put effort into it that I did. So hang tight and let's get diving into my foundation routine. Hi guys. Okay, today we're going to talk about my foundation routine, and I change it every so often just depending on how my skin is doing and what it's doing. And that's a big part of it, is make sure that you listen to your skin, because it's not always the same. Winter, it can be a little bit drier. Summer, summer it can be a little bit more oily, sometimes more drier with all the heat, especially here in Arizona where it gets to be like 100 and who knows what hell. But it's just hot as hell, and so just really listen to your skin is probably the biggest thing that I would recommend. So I already prepped my face, and I used to use a face primer, but right now my face is not requiring primer. So I've been trying out the Kylie Skin Cosmetics, or skincare line, cosmetics anyway. So I put the eye cream under here, and it actually does give like a tingle to it, and I like it. Like, it feels like something is going on, and I look super tired right now because sleep. You need sleep, and I'm not getting a lot lately. But and then I use the Serum, and I love this stuff, and it smells very similar to Drunk Elephant's Serum for like $60 less and more of it. And I think it feels great. So I love Drunk Elephant, don't get me wrong. I don't necessarily love the price point of it. And so I thought I would try the Kylie Skin. I just was in Ulta one day and thought, why not? Let's do this. And I actually really, really like it for my skin, especially right now. And then I do her Hydrant Moisturizer because my skin tends to run a little bit on the dry side. So those are the 3 products that I'm using right now. I put that on in the morning before I put my foundation on, and just moisturize, and move on with my foundation routine. So I keep tucking my hair kind of behind my ears because I don't want to get it all, and I totally just turned my hearing aid down. Okay, so if you guys are watching my channel for a while, you're going to be like, what is wrong with this girl? She is a wackadoodle. But yeah, I was born with a hearing loss, and so I wear hearing aids, and I literally went like this and hit the button. It's all dun, dun, and I was like, okay, so first 2 things I'm going to start with. These are Kryolan. I don't know how to say this. I will say that. But it's Kryolan. And you can buy this online. They have tons of products and tons of these, which is a TV paint stick. Super, super awesome. The one thing that is difficult for me in ordering these is that they come FedEx and it requires a signature. And since I have a job, I'm not home to get these. So I have to kind of do the pre-sign, leave it on the door or what have you, kind of a thing. So that's one thing that I get it, and I appreciate the security of the product, but it's difficult. Not impossible, just more challenging than just getting home and getting the package. So this is the color 2W, and it's kind of a pinky-ish, really light, but almost the same color as my white skin because I'm white. So, and I take this down the bridge of my nose here, go up and over my eyebrows a little bit. I'm getting my hair done today and I cannot wait, and she's gonna remove like all of this, but I wanted to film this for you guys. So, and then I dab this gingerly on that very soft skin on the underside of your eye and kind of pat that down. And same thing over on this eye. So I don't put a ton of product on, and then because I like to have that like highlight on my Cupid's bow, I will put a little bit of this there. And then I will take just a tiny bit and drag it along that jawline there, right where it meets here. And then I take a beauty blender. This one I've been using this week, so it's a little dirty already, so I apologize. And I usually start right here where the least amount of product is. And then I want to control my nose. So then I do up that part right in between the brows, and I will gingerly try to soften that outer line. And same thing on this side. So I don't want to take all the product off the center, but I want to soften that line in the middle. And then I take this is a Morphe beauty blender, by the way. You can get this at Ulta as well. I really like it for the price point. It's like $8. And it works really well. And I love that this edge is so, and it washes pretty good. I bought some other ones from like the grocery store and stuff like that, just trying them out. And they work really well until you try to clean them. And then they like fall apart after cleaning them twice. And I like to keep using them and cleaning them. So, and then I will come along here and just dab and kind of soften up everything that I put down. So I don't try to take a bunch away, but I soften. And I got that eyelash curl. So it's stabbing me in the eye. And then I will come and run this along and try and chisel out and blend it into the chin line there, but so that I kind of have this space. And do the same thing on this other side and make funny faces while I do it, apparently. Okay, so after I've done that, I'm going to, I'm missing something in here, so there we go. I'm going to use, this is the 11W, same Kryolan TV paint stick. And I've kind of beveled it into this archway because I usually start right here on my nose and go down like that. And same thing on the other side. Maybe just match it up so that it's a little more even. Okay. And then I start here and go along my upper hairline. And I'm not super heavy-handed and I'm not super light-handed. So when I drag it down here, then I'm going to just create that line there. It'll all blend a little easier, a little better. Easier, better. Sometimes, not always, I will do just a short little line there for that bottom lip to pop out. And then because I have like a jowl, I don't know what that's called, I do that line right there. And this I do very light. I got a little high. That's all right, we'll fix it. And then it's time to blend. So this is a Bdellium Tools. This is a 365. It's a very flat, very pliable, like almost looks like a paintbrush. But I love this one because of the flat edge and because it's soft. So I will start where I want it to be the lightest. So that jawline, I don't want that to be super prominent. I just want it to have a little bit darker shading there so that it looks like I have a jawline. Because I do, just you can't always see it. And then I will usually go to the nose because that's the second place I want it to be. So this I kind of tap and drag and kind of soften that line. Same thing, I don't want to remove a bunch of the product because otherwise it just makes it look super dark and drags it all over the place. And nobody wants that, right? So I just kind of pat and swoop a little bit to soften that line. Now, when I get to the forehead, this is where I'm going to really try to blend it, one, back into my hairline, and then soften it as it goes out onto my forehead. So lots of scooping, scrubbing, swiggling. There we go, that word that I made up with my kids. If you saw that other video. And just kind of really blend and soften that up. And then I will get, and I have a higher hairline on this side. So, and then I kind of gingerly blend this out, the edges. But I've got quite a bit of product, so I have to be careful that I don't paint my face too far. So I just kind of go back into the hairline, along this line to soften it, and then drag it out just a little bit and kind of soften those edges so they're not so prominent. Anywhere, and then I just kind of look at myself, and anywhere I feel like I need to just add a little bit more soft tone is where I touch. Okay, foundation time. Today I'm going to use the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place makeup. I wanted to try this because it was like Allure, you know, winner several years in a row or something. And so I really like it, and it's super easy to apply, and so I'm going to do that. This, and the shade I wear is 1C1, which is Cool Bone. And then the brush I'm going to use is the Bdellium Tools 948, and I need a new one because the little, it's getting a little crazy with the brush fibers, brush hairs, brush, anyway, the brush. So usually I take a little bit on my finger, I take it off the brush. This time I got kind of a lot. And then I will go in and I kind of start tapping along the main highlight lines, especially if I get too much. Then I want to put the most product down in the areas where it's already light, if that makes any sense to you. But oh, I forgot to blend that out there. Let's do that real quick. There we go. And then just lightly tap and kind of spread it around. And I'll go up in here and gingerly tap as I connect here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here on my head. I don't always start in the same place, but I do start on my forehead a lot. And I concentrate on the area that is light, and then I feather it out. Boy, hairs attacking. Attack, attack. And I feather it out. This foundation is a little bit, I would say, thicker than some others, which I don't mind, and I can control where I want it to be thick, I guess. And so it doesn't bother me. But if you don't like that cakey, or you don't like the heavier foundations, this may not be one for you, but it's what I'm currently using a lot. So I just put it back on my finger when I want a little bit more, and I'm going to take a little bit less this time so I can control. All about the control. And I will go along here and gingerly blend that foundation into the bronze contour. Take a little bit more. Go on this side and just gingerly blend that in. Same thing with my hairline, just so that it looks right. Okay, so I will obviously take this down over my chin and blend my jawline. But see, now I kind of look like I have one, but yet my foundation blends well into my skin. So just really taking a little bit of time to be in control. Gingerly swipe over that because I don't want to remove all of that. And then I take just a little bit and I will start down the bridge of my nose and pack on that color foundation, and then gingerly swoop it out to the edges. Sorry, I didn't realize I didn't finish that sentence because I was too busy. And then I will gingerly swipe up on the edge of my nose, and voila, I've got foundation and base primarily on. There's one other step that I do that may not be necessary, but I like to do it, so therefore I do it. So I am going to take Morphe E10. It is a concealer brush, and this is dirty because I did use it yesterday. And I'm going to take the MAC Pro Long Wear Concealer. This is in the shade NW15 because, again, I'm white. And I'm going to spray some of it on my Scott Barnes mixing palette. And then I take the concealer brush and put just a little bit on there, and I do a lighter highlight down the center of my nose and right on the tip. And then again, I will brush this up and over a little bit just to transition. It's like a transition from the dark to the somewhat light and then a light. Probably completely unnecessary, but I like it. So I like it. So therefore I do it. This is what I do. I told you I would show you what I would do, and this is what I do. So just pat that underneath the eye and a little bit down the side of the nose. I take just a little bit of it and I put it right there on the top of the Cupid's bow, and I will drag it down that hump of the Cupid's bow. Does that make sense? I hope so. And then I take a very fine line, and this helps me also if I just need to clean up over blending or anything. So I usually start with my beauty blender down here, and I basically grab and pull down. So see how that is, and it just creates a little bit more definition. And then I will pick up this here on the top of my lip, that Cupid's bow area. See how that changed? And then I gingerly pat on my nose and just try to blend as softly. Sometimes I will turn this around to use the tip. And like so. And go in and blend that upper area. So like I said, it kind of just, to me, it transitions. And then who doesn't want a bright under eye? Let's hide all those bags that we saw at the beginning, right? And then really pack and blend. And it just changes it. And a lot of time I will kind of create that line for the shadow. There. Okay, so to set the powder, so I'm going to use the Morphe M438. It's very tapered synthetic soft brush. And I'm going to use the Laura Mercier translucent loose setting powder. And I just take this brush, dab quite a bit on there, tap off the excess, and then I set that under eye with this detailed brush, because I'm going to use my shadows and I want this to be, and then I will drag it up and over. And then the other thing I do is I set my nose using this brush. So I just pat and press. A lot of time I'll even drag it down and up through there. And once I get all that done, then I take a bigger brush. This is a Morphe PK14. It was part of the Morphe brush set that I used to get. And I absolutely love this brush. So I'll pack it on, tap off any excess, and then pat into my face. I make funny faces like, oh, pat into my face. And drag this down across here, and voila, that is my foundation routine. Okay, so today, because I did kind of this sort of look, I'm going to use the Tarte Amazonian clay. This is the color Pate, and I think you can only get this one at Sephora or Tarte.com. But I'm going to take a Morphe PK4. It is a foundation or a blush brush, and I swoopy, swoopy, swoop. And then I start on the outer corner and I do like little circular strokes very gingerly. So it's not a starch line. And it blends into that brown that I put on there. Just real quick. It's like a and it's almost like a flick a little bit. Sometimes I get a little high like there, but that's all right. So I'm going to go in with my Morphe M501. It's a very fluffy brush. And I'm going to take my Jaclyn Hill. This is Do Me Luminous Powder. And I'm going to pack that on. Swipe it on my cheekbone. Tap it on the end of my nose, right there. Sometimes I'll do it right here on the bridge, just a little bit, and then swipe that Cupid's bow, like so. Pretty. Okay. Be right back with the finished look, and then we can talk about it. Okay, so this was my foundation routine. I finished off the rest of my makeup so that I would look like the whole person that I'm trying to be and show you. And so I hope you enjoyed this look. The way that I do my foundation, it may not work for you. I'm sure there's other products out there that are comparable And that may work for you. It's finding the balance and what works for you and really creating the look that you want, that's best for you. What works on me, because as I do clients, it doesn't always, things don't always work on everyone. People have different skin, different needs, different cheekbones, you have to kind of adapt to what works for you. So this is just an idea of what works for me for you to take and apply so that you can figure out what works best for you and your skin. But again, I'm going to highly stress that you pay attention to your skin, what it's telling you. If you're having those splotchy problems, breaking down a foundation, it could be you're either too greasy, you may need a primer to help matte you out, you may need a primer to hydrate you more, or you may need a hydrator, like a cream or something when you put your moisturizer was the word I was looking for. When you moisturize, that moisturizes you more or less. You got to kind of play with it a little bit. I find that the weekends when I want to try like new foundation and stuff is a good time for me to do that, because I can watch it a little more throughout the day as to exactly when it breaks down, what happens, you know, do I touch my face a bunch that day? Do I, you know, or is it just a foundation? I mean, there are foundations out there. They're just not going to be the right one for your skin. That's why there's 10,000 foundations, right? And colors and what have you. Probably not 10,000. You get my point though. And so it's really figuring out what works for your skin. If you have any comments about that below, where maybe you have things that happen to you, comment below. Maybe I can help you figure out what's going on. I'd love to chat. Like and subscribe. And until next time, guys. Bye-bye. Oh, I totally should get, like, just take a look at that skin. Even my wrinkles up here, like, hello, flawless.